One of his other nurses made that for him.
Very nice. No one noticed this at the meeting.
Okay.
Or my haircut. No one sees me. No one noticed this at the meeting.
Okay.
Or my haircut. No one sees me.
Men.
No one noticed this at the meeting.
Okay.
Or my haircut.
Back to this. Got 3 minutes. 5 minutes. Oh, hey, Soph.
Perfect.
Sophia.
Crush your head.
All right. Let's pin you in here. We're gonna get it tight. Get it right. Keep it tight.
It's raining.
What? You got the windows up?
Obviously, fine, okay. So when they're talking, every time.
It's like this way. We're looking at some pictures for that. Okay.
Look at this box for the.
Oh, are those the 32s?
Yeah, from my.
I just changed the key fob battery there.
For your client.
Oh, pretty good.
Is that nice?
All that space for one little man. Yeah, for sure. Is that you want to watch?
Sure. You can do 7. However he wants to do 7, we'll adjust it. You be you. I'll be me. Sophie will be Sophie.
I didn't know this. Here's one. Got some hands up. Okay. All right. Shall we start? Okay. Steve, bring it in. Okay. Woo! All right. How's the lighting?
Lighting's good.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Default microphone has changed to the Yeti. Thank you. Hello. My name is Christopher Blona.
And I'm secondhand Steve.
And welcome to our show. This is called
You're gonna have to say it out loud.
A Man's Journey. Well, what you don't hear or see is another guy off to the side there. That's my son Sebastian.
He's saying hello.
Sebby, do you want to come on the show? You want to say hi to America? Bring him over here, V. Bring over that chair. And so every week we join the rest of you men. Hopefully you're listening and watching and learning about men's topics in the the men caregiving space, and how we're going to discuss life according to men in this space. This is primarily for men in the caregiver space, but we talk about everything outside of that. We just talk about topics about how it relates to your life.
We're caregivers,
Yep.
and this is proof.
That's my son. Hi, Sebi. What's up, dude?
Buzz it is.
Right. So Sebastian is infatuated with Buzz Lightyear. We're getting ready for Halloween.
Who isn't?
Halloween's in a few days. And so we've gone through 10 costume changes in 2 weeks, and I think we finally found it. Are you going to be Buzz?
Big question. You gonna be Buzz for Halloween?
That's a yes. All right. Very cool. Are you sure? Because I just bought Mario.
There's always next year for Mario.
Or there's always, Thursday. Say what, Veronica? You want to come on the show? The real caregiver's over there, the nurse. So he's fine. You can stay here.
Why don't you tell them about Sebi a little bit? So they understand what he's going through.
I'm hearing some rain. Is it raining? It's raining. Interesting.
Summer is officially over in Southern California.
Thank God it's only October 9th.
I don't know.
It is October 28th. That was one day up. So yeah, so Sebastian has a rare disease called Batten disease, CLN8. The 8 stands for the 8th variant in a series of 14 known variants of Batten disease. And Batten disease is a lysosomal storage disorder. And for this condition, he has seizures. He can't see very well, can't walk very well, can't talk very well. He's losing most of his fine motor skills and all of his faculties due to the fact that he doesn't have an enzyme in his brain to remove all the toxic cloud, as they would say. Every time we have any type of a thought or a fast twitch or anything like that, there's an electric field that goes off in our brain, and it basically has a puffy cloud of smoke, toxic cloud, and that enzyme comes in and takes it out of the body. And so over time, the cells die and kill off the brain cells, and it's called neuronal cellular death. Isn't that fun?
And it's a slow process.
It's a slow death. I mean, we're dying, but not like this kid. But
and like every caregiver who's a father or parent of a child with something, you become more educated than the doctors usually of the condition. You learn the words, you learn the disease and every aspect of it, because you have to. You have to advocate.
Okay. And now there's more women coming into the studio. This is crazy. This is a men's show, right?
It's
Hi, Jess.
Hi.
Okay. Yeah. We got 3 females on the floor and 3 males on the floor. Yeah. That whining dog is a female. Yeah, you tend not to really want to know this stuff about your son or your client, let's say, because Sebastian is his client. And you have to become okay with it. And we're okay with it because we just have fun.
we adjust to what we want, how we think it should be, but we do reality.
Then we must unburden from what has been done. But we treat him like anybody else outside of therapies, doctors' visits, different types of diets, extreme measures, dealing with pharmaceutical giants, Congress. I mean, pretty normal, right?
It's if you're not prepared for it, it might seem a little too much. But if you've had experience with this, you've been doing it for a while, you still can get overwhelmed, don't get me wrong. But one thing about Sebi, he still has his sense of humor. He still has his laugh.
That kid can make everybody laugh.
He's playful.
He's got gas, lots of gas.
Which makes him laugh.
makes the room.
You'll find out what makes him laugh, what makes him smile.
It's disgusting.
And no matter how bad, you keep doing it.
Sebastian, do you have gas today? kind of slow today. We had a seizure today, a tonic-clonic, otherwise known as a grand mal, right as we were getting on the bus
Which drains him of all of his energy.
for hours at a time, sometimes days. But because of the EEE systems that we've been doing, our new treatment, his downtime is literally cut by 90%, I believe. And so,
And the energy he gets from that treatment,
yeah,
beneficial to him in every way.
it's quite awesome. My Halloween directions are going off, not directions, decorations. I have sensor control, so if you can hear it in the background, it's pretty cool. I hear my goblin trying to get out of the coffin.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got the animatronic. Oh, it's raining right now. Is it going to be okay?
Yeah, I don't care. No, just throw it in the trash. Right. So
Now it's coming down.
love that seating. So here is the thing.
What's the thing?
Tonight's topic, because this guy never prepares, because he just shows up looking this good. You look very handsome tonight, Steve.
Thank you. I feel a little more alive.
Yeah. So tonight, because he wanted to know, we were talking about what is on topic tonight, right? And so I think it's somewhere in here. Where are you? There we are. All right. We're looking for it. Didn't say anything about rain in the forecast. It's kind of cool. I mean, if you weren't prepared. All right. So it is Monday, the 28th, and we're talking about, one of my favorites, relationships and dating.
Relationship and dating. Okay.
Yeah.
What do we know about that?
Well, this is going to talk about the issues around dating, your communication skills, your communication in current relationships, and maintaining healthy partnerships. Now, we're no stranger to, having quite a few different types of relationships, and we've tried a couple of times to make relationships work, and sometimes they end in divorce, and sometimes they end in, well, sometimes just end.
Well, one thing you'll find if you have a child with needs is it puts a strain on a relationship that is unmatched with anything I've ever experienced before.
Yeah.
And you'll find out what you're made out of. You'll find out what the other person is made out of.
Yeah.
And the primary direction we always go in is to take care of the one who has the needs. And this means sometimes we have to learn how to sacrifice our time and what we want, where we want to go, what we want to do.
You're probably wondering why Steve sounds so calm. It's because he's had quite a few different experiences. Steve, how many times have you been with him?
2.
I almost said 3. We're working on 3. I'm a successful one. So I guess when you go through those horrible things, because divorce is horrible, it's like a death. You learn how to change up some of your behavior, right? Some of your communication skills. Tonight we're going to talk about some of that stuff because it can be hurtful. Your emotions should not run your mouth, but often they do. And your communication should be on level with your emotional status or you being mature. But sometimes it's just anger.
Or sometimes you go through it and then you learn all those things.
Yeah. And those are painful lessons,
Very, but those seem to be the lessons that stick and really cause a change. If someone's trying to change the course of their life and the direction of where they're going, this will do it. So
true.
You have to learn from it though. Otherwise you'll find it again.
What do they call that? Bring the baggage to the next relationship.
Oh, and what baggage this is. A lot of people, I don't have a car, I got some credit card debt. Try having a special needs child.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to blame the situation on, having a diseased child, a special needs child, or, but it does play a huge part in the issues and the problems surrounding of what is actually going on. So that this person brings a whole new level of stress to a marriage or a relationship, more so than people who have normal.
Which has its own stresses and problems and issues. This is just another level.
Yeah, but this is the different, this is more, and you know it's more, okay?
Oh, yeah, it's a much higher level.
Yeah, and it brings a lot more stress to that relationship. And you have to be bigger than the problem. You have to really kind of like breathe and get centered and say, listen, I'm not mad at my wife as much as I am mad at the situation or the disease. I'll let you know a little secret today. Today I was in therapy, and my therapist asked me, she goes, do you feel you're angry? And I said, yeah, I'm really angry. She goes, what are you angry at? And I said, I think I'm more angrier at Batten disease than anything else in my life. See you, Sebby. Have a good time. Are you going in the rain? Okay, take a jacket. Going outside in the rain. And so once you really become, you know, is that what we should be doing? Well,
I don't know, does that look better? Let us know in the comments.
it's a huge set. We definitely need a studio.
No. The studio doesn't change the content of what we're bringing,
No.
so let's bring our best. I should write for Hallmark.
You're awful. Let me get back what I was saying. What was I saying?
We were chasing a squirrel last I heard.
We'll get that nut. Basically, my therapist had challenged me as to why I was so angry. And it's really true. I let my situation with Sebastian affect all my other relationships. And I know that's wrong, but that's what we do as men. Not all men, but this man right here.
But it really, I mean, if you think about it, can it be helped? Because now you add in exhaustion, frustration.
Oh,
How fun are you after you've been on hold for 40 minutes just to find out it's the wrong number to call for what you need for your family?
right.
There's so many things.
You're being generous. You're being generous at 40 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
Like an hour and 40 minutes.
So if you don't have patience, you're gonna have to find it.
I don't have patience. That's another thing that we discovered today in my therapy. No patience.
No patience.
I'm angry. I'm angry and I have no patience. And that's why my relationships are suffering, right? Because I attack. And I attack the people in the room. I attack my girlfriend. I attack my friends.
Not physically,
Well,
verbally.
attacking is at martial arts. That's when we attack. But yeah, last week we were together, and he said, "What did you tell me? Why are you so negative? I feel this negative." And he got up and he said, "I don't want to be around you. You're not ready." That's like, where you going? Not ready for what, you asshole? But you see, he's right. He's right. I mean, if you take this, all this, right, caregiving, and you bring it out of your job, if you're lucky to just be a caregiver, and you take that home, that's not okay. It's normal, but that's when we would ask you to seek professional help, in the sense of either going to a licensed therapist or to even going to a support group, so you can get those feelings out so that you don't keep them in and they explode at the inopportune time.
Let's even back it up before that.
I need some
If you-
coffee. Can I get a coffee?
No, if you think you can handle this without some type of connection with someone else who maybe has more experience in the area, without someone who can be beneficial and help you, you're kind of kidding yourself. This is overwhelming for any one person. It's overwhelming for couples. It's overwhelming for families. And we seek help where it's needed, because I don't remember in school where they said, "Oh, we're having a class on how to cope with, something that you would never even expect in a million years." And so it's quit thinking that you can do it and that your way is right and that you're going to force your way through it and make it happen. No, you'll implode. It won't take that long either. It's a lot, and to reach out for help is noble. Absolutely. I like how you don't get distracted. You watching this, you don't see what's going on next to us.
Off camera is my girlfriend in a brand new onesie. She just got out of the shower, and it's like teddy bears.
Got your attention.
And
Which is the point.
she has the hat that looks like a teddy.
That's adorable and warm. Perfect for today.
I am easily distracted. I am. So,
No
all right.
patience, easily distracted. What else?
All right. So, where are we at here? Number 6. 6. Nice. So, let's talk about dating.
Dating. So how does dating work normally, right? Yes.
What is normal anymore in this world?
Well, the idea is you meet someone, you set up a time and a day,
Yeah,
and you pick them up or you meet them there, right? That's a date.
yeah, and hopefully there's conversation.
But let's talk about you set up a date and a time, and all of a sudden your child has a seizure, an episode, something goes wrong.
Yeah.
They're not eating that day, they're not talking that day, they're not walking there. And how many times can you break a date before the other person finally, I can't do this? And that's a very real scenario.
Isn't that the truth? That happens just in normal life. If you're a caregiver, that is very, very challenging because a lot of women aren't in this space, let's say, and they don't understand. They don't understand that, hey, this guy has a lot of challenges, so maybe this is not the guy for me. That happens a lot more often than you think. So it's tough. It's tough to date.
It is, especially with someone who doesn't have any experience in this area.
Right.
A lot of people in their family, they might have someone who, a cousin or nephew or niece or something, has special needs, and they're around it temporarily. So they see for an hour or two, and then that's all the only experience they have. But when you're a parent, it's full time. There's no time off the clock. When you're a caregiver, you have a set time.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. We still want to date, and so
You have to find a way to make it happen.
we work around all of it, right? So it takes a very special individual to understand
It does. This will eliminate 90% of people. You think
that the person that we want to date is not the priority, which really upsets a lot of people, because you want to give your attention to that person a lot, and that person expects the same. And when they don't get it, well, they bounce.
it happens, and don't give up.
I get tired. But then again, I don't want to be alone, right? So, I mean, this is hard enough. We need some other forms of companionship. I mean, caregiving is great. I love my son. I love working for other people. I love helping other children. But you still need that adult connection. You need that adult conversation.
Very important and very normal.
Yeah.
Want these things.
Mm.
And now you have to adjust because it's just not a clear path anymore. It's not easy. It's not like what it was like when you were younger.
But was it ever really easy when you weren't in the space?
I don't think so. I think life complicated. Life is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, if you want to know the truth.
I mean, there is nothing harder than life. But in today's dating, I mean, there's the internet, there's dating websites.
And no one's happy with anything. No one's happy with the internet dating.
Everybody's complaining. Yeah. I mean, what's left?
There's a
Porn.
supermarket.
Oh,
You go to the
organically. Yeah.
If you want someone that's healthy, you hang out in the organic aisle.
But then
If you want someone that to eat, you hang out in the bakery.
yeah, but then
Find
it's
what
like,
you want.
then you start to talk to these people, and then they think you're like a creeper, right? Why are you talking to me? Ew.
Not if you do it right. If
Is
you
there-
come off with maybe a little bit of sincerity and some honesty. Oh, you can't be honest without sincerity.
What's that?
But it'll happen.
I lost my chapstick.
You're gonna be okay.
I need my chapstick.
How bad do you need it?
It hurts, so I want something soothing.
Okay, so it looks like he's gonna have to get his chat fixed
I found
so
it.
he can talk. But I heard that stuff makes your lips even more chapped.
Not this kind. This is organic.
What's it made out of?
Tea tree oil,
And,
coconut.
and,
I can't read that. Small. Pineapple. It says pineapple on the bottom. Pineapple.
oh,
You read? This is pineapple. Ah. Thank you, my producer Jessica, bringing me a much needed cup of joe.
thank you.
Coffee. Yeah. All right. So dating sucks. Relationships are hard, but we don't want to stay single, right?
So what do you do?
Do you go down that road of like I am, what do they call that? Sophia. What is it? What's the term? Oh, settling. Yeah, because you don't want to be alone. Is that what we do?
How about the person who has a relationship, but it's taken a toll?
What does that mean?
It's, maybe, you know, they started dating you
Mhm.
and then they realize this might be a little too much.
How long into the relationship do they realize?
Probably the third date. It depends how long you can keep up the act. It's important to be, you know, true to yourself from the very get-go and with them.
Lighting is harsh. Raise my white shirt. Your white beard is just kicking too.
I don't mind.
Are you gonna be Santa this year?
No. No, that the big man himself can do that.
Oh, what's his name?
Santa.
No, the other guy.
Who's the other guy? Well, looks like we're making some adjustments here in the room
Looks like that
in
one.
honor of Halloween. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that might be a little bit better.
Okay. Let us know if we look prettier now.
I look softer.
Okay. Have a seat. See if we can get you to stay in your chair for a few minutes.
I'm antsy.
Why?
Well, that's much better. I can see myself.
Cheers, everybody. All
Done.
right, so moving on. How's your communication skills within your relationships currently? Wow. Steve? How's it going, Steve? Are you communicating well enough?
Actually, yes.
Really?
Communications is huge. Here's something I found. I found that you can, when you're saying something to someone, what you say and what they hear are two different things.
Ah, yes.
So I learned a little trick. And that is to ask, what did you just hear? And it's very helpful because otherwise you're going to have an argument based on not even knowing what they heard. And you're thinking that, you know, it's the argument is based on what you said and you'll never come through it. You'll never come out of it. You'll always be stuck there and it'll just get worse. So you want to start out with a baseline of what did you hear? And then when they tell you, then you'll see what you're working with. Because it turns out that communications, language is what, just 15% of it. So much more to real communication. How's that tea?
It's not tea, it's coffee. It's a little weak. I like it a little bit stronger. Like a couple espresso shots.
You said you wanted coffee and all of a sudden it showed up. It's pretty
I
good.
got a great producer. He gives me things I want. Not that I need, but I want.
Nice.
Yeah. That's called communication. Look at that.
How are you doing with communication?
I hate it. It's awful.
Why?
I'm angry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you communicate that. You're angry.
Yeah. Frustrated, sad.
Now,
depressed.
do you want to be fixed or do you just want to go through it at your pace?
I hate that term fixed. Because I
Repaired,
already
remedied.
because I already am fixed.
He said with a straight face.
But you know, I think that in any type of a communication, whether it's with your family or your lover or whatever, your friends, your guides, there has to be some level of tolerance for the half truths, because it's hard to get honest. It's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to get honest because we don't want to be judged. And with male ego and pride, I have a hard time really letting people in. And when they push and they prod, I get what do they call it? Anxious, and I explode.
So if you communicated that to someone and let them know, listen, I'm comfortable with, what you're asking me right now, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because everyone's different, and we don't know how to maybe talk to other people because we don't understand where they're coming from. Or you ever, someone for a long time and you're in a great mood, everything's fine, and you have no idea that they just had the worst day of their life, maybe.
Right.
And you're not reading the room.
No.
Which is one of the things I'm always working on. You don't want to come at someone at a different level of energy than where they're at. And it can overwhelm people. It can cause a resentment.
Piss them off.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you come off as unfeeling. Familiar with that one, huh?
Yeah.
And then it's part of being a guy.
I mean, I just don't really care what you think.
But only someone who really doesn't care what you think wouldn't even say that, because it wouldn't even register.
Well, again, communication is the key. Whether it's with your mate or your friends or your family.
How about yourself?
That's probably the hardest.
Knowing what, if you were to point blank go up to someone and say, what do you really want? You're going to want someone who's kind of stumped.
Oh boy, man, the acorn. Well, communication for me with myself would be it's like living in a circus. Dun, 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 crazy.
And we're spinning the plates. We got a lot going on here and there and everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're gonna bring this back into dating.
Okay.
You think that any person could understand what I am actually doing on a daily basis?
Only someone who has the same direct experience as you. Otherwise, spectators, all of them.
So the pool is extremely small. Because those women out there, they don't want to be second. They don't want to deal with a special needs child. They don't want that life. They don't.
We shouldn't generalize. Not all of them.
Well,
but how do you find the ones that
are on
board?
I was getting to that. I'm saying, but
I cheated you. I'm so sorry.
Well, you're a cheater. But those people do exist, and I have found a great one right now, who is also a caregiver, who also has worked in the special needs community. So if you stop searching, they'll just appear. It's crazy, right?
I believe that's that's lawful.
It is. I mean, and it wasn't in the produce section. It was at work. Who knew?
It's like that. You'll hear it all the time. It's when I stopped looking and I stopped trying to force something to happen.
I just was done. I was done with just the day in, day out crap, the excuses, like whatever. Was I looking to get married again? No. Do I want more children? No. So that really limits a lot of the women.
And as you get older, you understand where they're coming from. So you get it.
Yeah. But my level of patience, I was just, I don't care. And then once I had that, I'm not looking, I don't care.
And it happens. Then an opening can happen.
It appears. And, it's very odd. Quite thankfully, I must be, if I'm being honest, because that person has been extremely helpful in a lot of situations. And
absolutely.
the communication is still in need of some work.
Oh, that never goes away, by
But
the
you
way.
have to continue to get better at it. But I'm grateful for what I have, and so I can attest that even you can benefit from a relationship. Now, moving on to what happens if you already have like a partnership. How do you have the ability to maintain that healthy partnership? I've been on a couple of ends of unhealthy partnerships. I'm sure most of you can agree that are watching. You know, you can put it in the chat and you can tell us about it. So, you know, how do you do that, Steve? How do you maintain this healthy partnership with all of the stuff that we have to do? We have to do school, feedings, exercising. I'm just going down
The different therapies.
my job skills. I'm not saying that yours may different, your mileage may vary, as they say, but all of those things. And then how do you put that relationship in there and not have someone feel neglected or not to be made to be feeling special anymore? You know, I mean, sex is okay, but it's not great anymore. You know, what can we do, Steve? How do we do it?
I don't have all the answers. Maybe I don't even have this one, but here's what I'll say from my experience.
With a lot.
You got to be where you're at right at the moment, and you have to make time to keep things fresh. It's an overused word, but sometimes it's as simple as maybe once a month going to a movie, once a month making a date. It starts with sometimes very small things, because depending on your situation, you might not have the time or the energy or the attention to do anything in the extracurricular world. And so if you're on a date, try to be there when you're on the date. Try to set things up and arrange things so you can try to be there. Because if you're a parent of a child with needs, your mind is always drifting towards, are they okay? And it's a tough one. And what the other person needs to understand is they're not competing with that. If they try to compete, they already lost. They're done. Game over. You're never going to compete with that. This is my child. My child comes first, and I take care of my child. What we have to do is make the effort to try to give them what we are able to, when we're able to, and we take it from there. And maybe they want to be a part of that. Maybe they don't. That's up to them.
I would suggest not going to the movies. Unless you're in like a.
What if you like the movies?
Okay, so
Or meeting with friends?
here's the big problem about going on a date to the movies. Okay. There's no talking, there's no interaction. You're sitting there quietly watching a movie.
Oh, as far as a first date, yeah, you're right.
First date, year in, whatever. I'm just saying, it's probably not the best time. Unless you are dating someone who's a caregiver and you guys need that escape. Where that's where you will find peace. I've heard it so many times from women before, you know, don't go to the movie theater on a date. We want to talk to you. We want to be involved. We want to be present. You know, we don't want to compete with the movies.
You know what I did when I was dating?
What's that?
So I had a park near my house. And I would set a time and go walking around it every night. And if I met someone I liked, I invited them to go for a walk with me. And it was a nice park. It was beautiful. And here's what I was looking for. I was looking for someone to say, I don't know. I was looking for someone with an open mind. And I tell you, it's the most impossible, hardest thing in the world. And everyone had an answer for everything. You know, and some of the questions I would throw out are unanswerable questions, but everyone seemed to have an answer. And I was just looking for an I don't know.
Did you find it?
I did. And it wasn't walking around the park. It was at work.
Ah.
And she looked me right in the eye and she goes, let me sit with that.
Another work thing. See?
So when don't expect it. Sometimes that's when it happens.
I wasn't laughing at Steve about the whole park thing. We dated the same woman long ago.
I went on one date.
I did 6 months, but we had the same assessment. That person just was not checked in, not in touch.
And I realized that on the first day.
It took me about, took me a little bit longer.
We're both in our 50s. This happened quite a time, a little bit of time ago.
Yeah,
And
yeah, this was like right before my divorce was final. That was back in 2011.
and you'll meet all types, and
Yeah.
you'll meet, and everyone always puts on their best show at first, right?
Oh,
And then it gets real.
it's ridiculous.
But when you're a caregiver, you're a parent of a child with needs, there is no show. There is no, you know, putting on this big front of how wonderful you get. What you get is one of the greatest things in life. You get real,
Mm.
and you avoid all the tap dancing and the jazz hands and the, you know, everything is swell and okay. No, it's the difference between assisted living and hospice. In assisted living, it's like a cruise ship. You walk in, hi, how are you? And people are being entertained, they're watching movies and eating and doing stuff. You walk into a hospice, you get none of that. What you get is very real people at the end of their lives. And I used to deliver medication to places like this. And that's what I found out. And I remember a man, he was so old, he goes, I'm so old, I won't even get green bananas. I don't know if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. That's wisdom. I had someone tell me, never park in front of where you're going, because you're gonna, you wanna use your legs while you can. Little things like this, you know, I didn't learn this in assisted living, I learned this at a hospice. These are people who are beyond real. And now I look for real. That to me is one of the great attractions in life, someone who's very real.
So what about the caregiver, the male caregiver?
That's me, that's you.
That no, that is not, that doesn't have children, that is dating. Now this is a tricky one because we don't want to bring our work home, right? But we're tired, we're exhausted, we really can't drink or do drugs because we're getting tested all the time. We're in charge of some of these most important assets.
True.
And so finding that person that is going to understand our hours of work, which are sporadic and long, and will they understand the empathy that must come from that person? You ever had that?
I have no experience being a single caregiver.
Mhm.
So everything I would say wouldn't be from my direct experience, but just from observation and some other stuff. How about you? You were a single caregiver.
I was.
Yeah, after your divorce.
Well, that's not really like I had children, so
Yeah, but one of them had special needs.
it doesn't matter. I'm talking about just the straight male single caregiver scenario that have children, that is just in the biz.
I think it would be, well, here's something I did. I used to, for some reason, always dated nurses,
Really?
which are the greatest people on the planet, wonderful. The issue was always the same though. After some time, you would see that they gave their best at work.
Mhm.
They gave their all at work. And it's easy for a caregiver to do that too. So everyone else gets leftovers. Everyone else gets the pieces that are left, the crumbs, because they gave it all up at work. And as a caregiver, as anyone who works with people with needs, or you know, you have to keep a little something for yourself, and for when you get home or when you're, you know, with someone. Otherwise, you'll burn yourself out very quickly.
Well, I dated a couple nurses too. It was hard to date that person because they were just drained.
Yeah,
They were drained.
they give it all.
They do.
Give it all away.
They
They give their
got-
best.
They got nothing for you, you know, but there are times when they rally. But
When you're in the hospital, that's what you want.
well, I'm just saying.
When you're in a
you know,
relationship, not so much.
I'm just saying, you know, that these are the things that when we're looking for a suitable partner, you have to look at all these things, and it's hard. It's hard to look at all these things. You know, the bottom line is like, you know, what can we do differently to make ourselves readily available within the relationship. And it took a long time for me, to understand how my behavior affects that relationship. Because I had to be less narcissistic, which is always a bad thing. I had to be less needy. I had to be more patient. I had to be empathetic to that person's, like, what were they going through? She was radiology tech. So it was hard to get together, but the weekends were okay if she wasn't on call. But I remember it wasn't a good fit for me. But then I became a father, and then I understood a little bit more. And I don't know if that has anything to do with dating a nurse, but it was like,
No, I get it.
You're always pulled, you know, you're really not in control, and you just have to like show up and show up, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyone else feel the same way? Anyone out there? There's nobody in the chat.
Yes, it's quite all right. We're here.
It's crickets. Listen, I want you guys to tell people about this place. I want to see people in the chat. I get nothing in the chat. I need the chat.
Now, why would they want to come here and hang out with us?
Because they need us. I'm sorry. We need them.
Yeah, there you go.
We need them. Sorry.
There were just two guys, actually two fathers, two parents,
Divorced.
trying to bring something and maybe to help someone else that's going through it and doesn't have the experience. Combined, we have a lot of experience in this area. All of it, maybe not so good, but we've learned.
Do you think that you are capable of having a healthy relationship in your current workplace as a caregiver?
I believe so. And it has to do with how I look at the world.
Well, besides you look at the world, do you think Steve, secondhand Steve,
That's me.
can have a healthy relationship? I don't want to talk about your philosophies, Buddha. I want to talk about you as a man, as a caregiver. Can you give your lady what she needs as a working on this space? I know some of us don't have options, and some of us don't have a choice, but
Yeah, I believe I can. Again, but it has to be with, see, you don't want the perfect person. You just want the person that's perfect for you. And it depends upon them too. It's what you when you come together, what you both are bringing to it. And so you always, they say water seeks its own level. So you want to find someone that's at your level. The ones that are, you know, too far ahead or too far maybe behind, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but just they lack life experiences, it might not work. They might not understand. And I think it's about understanding more than anything else today. And that's when you're young, you lack the understanding.
impatience.
And knowledge isn't understanding. Knowledge is knowledge. I could memorize a menu and starve to death. It's about the understanding. I could memorize a cookbook. Does that make me a good chef? No, I need the experience.
Does having money make you like a smart person?
No.
There you go.
My experience has shown me no. Some people have money, some people don't. But the content of their character isn't based on that.
Well, I've found that people that don't have a bunch of money are the nicest people in the world. I can't explain it.
Here, I'll prove it to you right now. When you see someone asking for money in front of a store, it's going to be the 99-cent store. It's not going to be like the Whole Foods or Sprouts.
Well, I see guys there too.
Now and then. But if you ask anyone asking for money, they'll tell you they make a lot more at a 99-cent store, or a thrift store, something like that. It's people are. I remember one time I was joking around, and it shouldn't have been. And I was going into 7-Eleven, and the guy got up, a homeless guy, and he's walking towards me, and I looked at him and I go, "Hey, you got $1 I can borrow?" And he reached into his pocket without a blink of an eye. And he was, I don't know if he's ready to give me, a buck or whatever he had in his pocket. And I saw what an ass I was being. And the big lesson I learned that day.
Mm. Interesting.
People who have suffered usually are more generous.
Very interesting. Well, I gotta say, it's hard to share this life with another person. It is very
But
hard.
not impossible.
No, but it's also hard to maintain what you started with. You either got to grow or you got to go. And that goes for both sides, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, the men can't do all the heavy lifting all the time. They have to be, you know, met halfway, and they have to expect the same level of growth. It just doesn't work.
And you have to be willing to readjust constantly.
Yeah.
If you're rigid, I wouldn't want to be you for $1 million. It's too hard.
I'm rigid.
And then look what it does to you.
Shut up.
You need to be Gumby. You need to be flexible.
Be soft, exactly.
You need to adapt.
We're
to
men.
what's in front.
We're men, Steve. No.
You know what?
We are strong, we are handsome, and we are virtuous.
We are broken. We are egotistical,
Oh my God.
and we need to grow up.
This,
What what we need to do as men.
wow, way to just pop my balloon. Nice.
No, it's part of the process of life.
Can't we just like pretend?
No, because we do reality in life.
This is not a reality most people can do. I, for one, have been doing it for quite some time, as you have. Yeah,
Yeah, and
to somebody
let me
else's,
ask you this:
to somebody else's child, just like, okay, which is amazing.
and having this situation,
Mm.
and you find that it helped you in other areas of your life.
Which situation?
Having a child with a rare disease. What has it done for your character, for your development, for your evolution as a human being and a man?
Oh my God, we don't have enough time.
See, nothing goes to waste in life if you're smart,
Mm.
if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
If you, again, ask for help and don't try to do it alone.
But we don't want to be alone. So therefore, the dating advice of the day would be what?
Don't give up. Make it happen. Put yourself out there. Take a chance.
Be told no.
Yeah. Don't look at it as rejection. It's just part of the process
Well,
of dating.
One man once told me that every time you hear a no, you're that much closer to a yes. Again, keep trying.
Playing the odds.
Oh,
Probably a gambler.
we gotta go to Vegas soon. Well, we're coming to the end of the hour here. We want to thank all of our sponsors. Right. But I'm Chris Filona.
I'm secondhand Steve.
Thanks for joining us tonight on another great episode of
Gotta say it again.
A Man's Journey, Steve. Steve forgets. This is a man's journey.
Be gentle with yourself and everyone in front of you.
Till next time, I would have to say something really smart, but
Go get profound. Do it.
oh, one more tip. If you want to do dating and you want to have a partner, do yourself a favor. Take yourself out first. See if you even like yourself. Take yourself to dinner, take yourself to a movie. See if you can actually stand yourself at the end of the night. All right. That's my profound end of topic. See you next Monday, everybody.